Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining me today. I'm Rick Smith. I'll be hosting this treasurer training webinar today. I'm currently the Assistant Governor for Area 9. Congratulations on serving as your club's treasurer. If you're new to the job, welcome. And if you're a seasoned pro, thanks for your continued service. As club treasurer, you help your club run efficiently. Your efforts keep finances organized within your club and also at the district level. Each Rotary Club has its own nuances and traditions. While there are specific tasks performed by the treasurer, there are other duties that may differ from club to club. This webinar is intended to provide you with the basics to get you up and rolling as club treasurer. Please feel free to print the slides to use as a reference throughout your year. At the end of this webinar, you'll be asked to send a brief email acknowledging that you've completed the training. Tom Mansheim is our new district treasurer. He is a member of the Salida Rotary Club. Tom will be one of your best resources for support and guidance. You'll see his contact information here. One of the best resources you'll have is the Club Treasurer's Manual that was developed by Rotary International. You'll see the link here. In addition, many club treasurers find that using the Budget Assistance Spreadsheet helpful. It will provide a basic format for your planning process. Let's begin with what will be covered in this training. There are 7 topics we will present to you today. First, we will discuss your primary duties as treasurer. Second, we will review what those first things are that need to be done. Third, we will talk about our district website and the administration tool, Club Runner. Fourth, we will talk about the Rotary International website and the administration tool, My Rotary. Fifth, we will review a timeline of what should be done monthly, biannually, and annually. Sixth, for the overachievers out there, we will discuss other positive, lasting changes you can implement for your club. And finally, some other helpful info that will come in handy when navigating the secretarial waters. Let's start with the most important tasks. Your first and most important task is to oversee the club's finances. You'll be making reports to share with committees, the club, the district, and Rotary International. You'll also interact with the Secretary of State website and the IRS. Organizing, presenting, and receiving approval for the club's annual budget will be your number 1 task. Many clubs already have a set process for developing their annual budget. Communicate with your past treasurer and president to determine whether you'll follow that process or whether you'll develop your own budget developmental process. Again, if you'd like to use the spreadsheet created by Rotary International, feel free to do so. Your job will be to monitor the approved budget, to keep it updated, and to make reports when requested. As a member of your club's board of directors, you'll attend monthly meetings. At the meetings, you will most likely be asked to report on the club's current financial status. It will be beneficial to have this prepared ahead of time. During your club meetings, you may also be asked to report on club finances in general or for a specific cause or purpose. Bring the financial records documentation with you. You are also responsible for working with your club secretary to ensure district and Rotary International dues are remitted by January 31st and July 31st. You and the club secretary will receive invoices for dues from the Rotary International via email. The district dues arrives in a separate email from the RI dues. Please note, the dues are separate from one another. Your club must pay both district and Rotary International dues. You may also be responsible for responding to emails and other club correspondence as needed. Now that you know what's expected of you, let's get started. First and foremost, meet with the outgoing treasurer to review club procedures and any pending items. It might be worthwhile to have him or her show you the process for making the actual payments to the district and to Rotary International. Don't forget to retrieve all club supplies, records, and archives. Second, meet with your president-elect. Discuss expectations of the treasurer position. Dues. Discuss any concerns you may have about delinquent dues payments from members or other items that you've noticed in preparing to administer the budget. Update the signature cards at the bank. You will want to know of any requirements about signing checks. Many clubs have a standing rule about getting 2 signatures on checks written above a certain amount. It's a good idea to obtain a copy of the club's bylaws, standing rules, and strategic plan. Have them available for reference should you need their guidance during a club meeting or a board meeting. Begin attending board meetings as soon as possible to familiarize yourself with the process and policies. The process for preparing the annual budget is dependent on your club's size. Large clubs will most likely have a finance committee who will take on this task. Smaller clubs may have the board do the planning, and even smaller clubs may have the treasurer do all the preparations. Regardless, you will be asked to lead the effort in preparing the club's annual budget. Asking the previous treasurer to walk you through that process may save you hours of hard work and frustration. In time, you may want to improve or refine that process. Many experienced treasurers say that it is helpful if the budget allows for monthly review of actual income and expenses in relation to those budgeted items. It is important that your efforts as club treasurer are transparent and handled with integrity. You may want to identify a club member to assist you with your responsibility. Rotary International advises that you find someone other than yourself to actually handle the cash. Many clubs, however, do not heed this advice. You will want to make the choice for yourself. Each month, you will reconcile the bank statements, update the budget to reflect any charges from the bank. Although you won't often use the 2 main reporting websites, it's a good idea to become familiar with them. Our next slides will do just that. There are 2 important websites that treasurers may utilize. They are Club Runner and Rotary Club Central. We'll review the purpose and how-to for each one. First, let's talk about our district website, found at rotary5470.org. This website provides information specific to our Rotary district. The administration tool you will be using on the district website is called Club Runner. This is the primary place to update club and member information. Although the club secretary will be the one to do most of the updating, this site will provide you with valuable member information. To access the district website and Club Runner, open your web browser and go to rotary5470.org. This will load our district website. I encourage you to explore the tabs across the top of the home page and the links on the side for club information, organizational charts, and district governor club visits information. To access Club Runner, click Member Login in the upper right corner. To create a new account, click New User. Or, if you already have an account, enter your login name and password. Click on the member area in the gray line at the top of the page. We've circled it here for your convenience. Now find the tab that says For Clubs. By clicking on that tab, you will have access to a list of all kinds of information, forms, and supports. Most likely, you'll be using the information provided in the For Club Executives section in the lower right-hand corner. The Active Club Members list gives you information about current members and their club status. Now let's talk about the Rotary International website, found at rotary.org. The administration tool you will be using on the Rotary International website is called My Rotary. This area provides access to useful information regarding club and district administration and members' contribution reports to the Rotary Foundation. To access the Rotary International website and My Rotary, open your web browser and go to rotary.org. This will load the Rotary International website. I encourage you to explore the tabs across the top of the homepage and the links on the homepage. Click My Rotary, click Register for an account. Let's explore the Club Administration area by clicking Manage My Club. Here, you can view your club's Rotary International invoices that must be remitted no later than January 31st and July 31st. Now let's explore the Reports area by clicking View Reports. The most frequently used reports are located under Club Reports, Contributions and Recognition, Club Giving. The Club Recognition Summary will provide you with a wealth of information such as Rotary membership ID numbers, current Paul Harris Fellows, and Foundation recognition points available. I invite you to explore the other reports available here in the Reports area. I'm sure you're wondering how often to perform all these tasks. We've broken them down into time frames for you: weekly duties, monthly duties, as well as semi-annual and annual responsibilities. Each week, you'll want to see that deposits are made in a timely fashion. Checks for dues, happy dollars, and donations should be recorded and deposited. Make sure that all invoices are paid on time. Every month, attend board meetings where you will present a current financial report. Distribute the report to the members and be prepared to answer questions. We suggest you keep all the bank statements together in one notebook or file folder. Receipts and invoices should also be placed in this notebook or folder. January and July are two important months in the life of the club treasurer. The Rotary International dues is to be paid in each of these months. You and the club secretary will receive an invoice from Rotary International indicating the amount due from your club. It is your responsibility to work with the club secretary to review that invoice and dispute any inaccuracies. Currently, the charge is about $32 per member for the 6-month period. Rotary International dues includes a subscription to the Rotarian magazine for each member of your club. The July invoice will be slightly higher than the January invoice because Rotary International bills include costs for the Council on Legislation, directors and officers' insurance, and general liability insurance. As we've said previously, the invoices will be sent to the club secretary and to you. Please make the payment by January 31st and July 31st. The club secretary is responsible for ensuring that all club information is up to date no later than December 15th and June 15th. Please support the club secretary in this important update. Rotary International doesn't like to give refunds. You will not be refunded dues paid for members whose status is incorrect. Here is an example of the typical invoice from Rotary International. Note that you can pay with a credit card, a check, or a bank transfer. If you're paying with a credit card, you can do that via the Rotary International website. Here are the step-by-step instructions from Rotary International. Let's review the district dues requirements. As with Rotary International dues, the district dues are paid semi-annually in January and July. The dues for 2018-2019 were $21 per person semi-annually. The invoice will be emailed to club presidents, treasurers, and secretaries. Someone in your club will receive the invoice. As with Rotary International dues, the dates for submitting payment are January 31st and July 31st. Here's the link for you to use if your club didn't receive the invoice. It will put you in touch with Lindsay Keller, who is our district secretary. Here is a sample of the District 5470 invoice for dues. The club treasurer also has duties to perform on an annual basis. The first task is to have a review of the finances done by a committee, a selected group, or a professional. The purpose of the review is to keep all financial practices transparent. The review committee will make a statement to the club regarding their findings. This is important. The club treasurer must renew the club registration with the Colorado Secretary of State each year. The process is simple and only takes a few minutes. Here is the link for you to use. Some clubs will be required to submit an annual charitable solicitations report to the Secretary of State. The best way to find out if your club is required to do this task is to access this link and follow the guidelines. If your club is not required to file the charitable solicitations report, you won't be listed and you don't have to do anything. Filing with the IRS is also a requirement that happens annually. Your club will file either a 990-N, Form 990-EZ, or a Form 990, depending on the annual income of your club. If your club brings in less than $50,000 in a year, the task will take about 10 minutes. This must be completed by November 15th of each year. Here's the web link for you to use for this filing. Many clubs ask their treasurer to submit an annual financial report to the club membership. Find out what your club traditions and expectations are with regard to an annual financial report. We have suggestions for those of you who want to take your duties to a new level. You can guide a committee to develop and implement bylaws, standing rules, or a strategic plan. If your club isn't currently receiving an annual report at the end of each year, you can author the first one for them. You may want to find an assistant treasurer to assist when you are not available. This is also good for succession planning. You're training your own replacement. Many clubs have a finance committee. If yours doesn't have one yet, you can be the first to create one. Finance committees typically have a representative on each committee to provide financial guidance with their work. The Finance Committee will play a big part in the strategic planning efforts by aligning the budget with a developing plan. If you are interested, you can also become active in Rotary's Council on Legislation. It is the branch of Rotary International that addresses how Rotary is governed. There are two sub-councils that make up the Council on Legislation. The Council on Resolutions meets to vote on new resolutions that are presented to the Board of Directors. The Council on Legislation meets to review and vote on legislative doctrines that govern Rotary. Here's a link for you to dig deeper. You've done it. You've successfully completed the District 5470 Treasurer's webinar. Please take a moment to write an email to Becky Smith, our district trainer. Becky is tracking which clubs have completed the webinar so that she can address the training needs of all clubs. Here is Becky's contact information. Thank you for investing this time in yourself and your abilities. Please reach out to Tom Mansheim or Becky Smith with any support questions you may have.